abusu amicha na msansomo akwa ba me channel so abusu afọ hada so aye ba media GH be so wase enani de community channel so be so subscribe like na abusu wa bua so ahia ma for person bi atie no anya bi atie da abusu afọ ayade asese amene we kasa ye Damango seat ye honorable Samuel Jinapor abusu amane bono echemu echese letter akwa the EC boss Jimenez say onhwe echese oma another election rerun echese enkoso ewo Damango enyansem to na busia na senya na echese yete say tumale high court the ruling aba echese omo call for election rerun ewo Bandai, yes, Bandai constituency honorable Matthew Yindam abusia no constituency asem no we kase there crack the letter akoma EC boss Jimenez say onhwe na echese ni menum ya ontumi ema election rerun enkoso because someone declare Honorable Yindam Bandai MP no MPP MP oma declare the seat no vacant na busu afọ say Damango yes eboboba ni na efa Samuel Jinapor wa enya sepeto na busu we dey ma mekasa wa mekasa 10% ekone guguti ensemo achese ababetodwa efa Samuel Jinapor ma say omo chomo semo say na yakwa say MPP lusu ano mo lusu omo sitinti enche just MPP for kwa parliament aboko just na almost ate enche number no beba be 5 mu baby abusu we dey moma yinti ne ekoso na sensem ababeto jafa honorable Jinapor ene Matthew Yindam Bandai MP ene nsem a chese just ekoso ewo EC electoral commission yinti ne ekoso emna sisi ha era so be media je chabuso be so subscribe there my YouTube channel no we notification bell for more podcast update abuso yinti ne ekoso na sisi ha.
More of what other sectors are doing happen in record time. The road minister and his a lot of fantastic things are going on, and I want to believe that is why people go into elections, to make their lives better, to make happiness and prosperity be their lot. And so I think that election 2020 for me should rather be a watershed for us as Ghanaians, and we must guard not only the victory jealously, but there must be prosecutions into each case. And Damango, bent ballot boxes, bent EC offices, no electoral materials. How did they declare the results?
But the former MP himself is cushion himself here in Accra.
Oh, he's been appointed to be MD of Ghana Water.
Because I've not heard anything.
No, Ghana
so
Water is under pressure. The person who is alleged to have defeated him signed onto laws that allow for people to mine in water bodies and forests, destroying the forests and water bodies, such that water and sewage needs to give you and I potable water, clear one like this to drink. It's not available. The man is busy trying to get us clean water. You are complaining.
Well, you are so interested. And I don't see him exhibiting the same interest. I've always wondered why, because I was expecting to hear much from him.
Because he's busy.
Because people think that is a stolen verdict. And here you have a man who has been rewarded.
Yes.
And you don't hear anything.
But the man is busy trying to give you water. And so those of us left behind,
so he's forsaking his people.
No, he hasn't forsaken his people. You and I have to advocate on his behalf and ensure that Damango is recorded in the right column. At least there should be a rerun in Damango before even the the one that is coming up, Bandai. Seriously, Bandai should come after Damango, because they were, in the case of Bandai, they said a number of boxes or a number of police stations. This one, the entire one. Oh, the office car bent.
Yeah.
The materials all bent. How did that declaration happen? How did Samuel Jinapor end up in Parliament? This is the man who was put in charge of our lands. This is the man who oversaw the 2020 handing over of lands to the EC chair so that Akufo-Addo can be declared, at least according to the documents that Solomon can. And there are several other documents out there that prove similarly. In fact, Samuel Jinapor, was on national television and said that the people that we revere in society come to him every day. In fact, they go on weekends, they drive around the weekends to the flash places, airports, cantonments, Laboni, etc. on weekends, and look at bungalows and state lands with little or no activity, and they come to his office to put him under pressure to allocate those lands to them at ridiculous prices. This is the man. So why? I mean, his own words, his own words. Nothing, as it were, convince a man faster than his own words. Isn't it true?
Right.
So what are you doing about it? You are a media person. This is the man who has given the Cantonment Civil Aviation Authority land to a known galamsey, Kate Jenfua, a former Chief Justice, Georgina Wood, Ken Ofriata, who we are still looking for, the governor of the Bank of Ghana at the time, Addison and his deputies, and so on. This is state land. Why did he give it to him? Then when he said that he, and again I'm quoting him, he says that he does not see it is unconscionable for anyone to want the state lands. It is unconscionable to give, and that the conditions under which state lands should be given to a third party or a private person should be extreme. Under him, these people, including Kate Jenfua, a busy galamsey, has been given those lands. Samuel Jinapor should be telling the good people of Ghana something. He's a lawyer. He should be telling us something. If indeed Samuel Jinapor can vouch that he never gave any of these lands, then it means that those people don't have the lands.
Right.
Because he's the one who, the president as trustee of our lands, gave the power to act on his behalf. If they didn't get, then we should go and retrieve it. Oral must work. In fact, we must go and retrieve the land. Don't you think?
Right. Today is the 8th of December 2025. It's the birthday of Mr. Kufuor, former president. So
Yes.
let me wish him a happy birthday. I don't know whether he will be happy. And I don't know whether he has to be happy. But if I were him, I would not be happy at this stage. Especially when it was so obvious that things were going in a very bad direction, wrong direction. Things were, the kind of governance that we were treated to by Akufo-Addo Bawumia was nothing to write home about. Yet he decided to keep quiet, look unconcerned. If he was concerned, I don't know the channels that he expressed it, but at least the interview that he did with the delay has exposed that he was not talking to anybody, and neither those in government were also speaking to him. So he has confirmed. You see, we have been making this disposition time without number. I have said it severally that he has been part of the reason the MPP has collapsed. People didn't understand. Thankfully, in our lifetime, he has come to confirm whatever some of us said. And for me, it's enough. They say better late than never. But his lateness has collapsed the MPP. His lateness has caused a lot of innocent souls in this country to die. Remember the DDEP. And remember the banks, the banking sector collapse. Dr. Michael Ejekum Kama, when he told the entire country that 800 of his colleagues died because of some of these policies. And so if President Kufuor had spoken then, probably it would have saved, if not all, half of them. You kept quiet, you sat down, and now this is the result. So what do we do with this late revelation? If I saw a revelation, all of us knew. You know, I keep saying that people, the mere fact that someone is a president does not mean you have sense past anybody.
Yeah.
Or you are, we like last year we were coming on this table, a lot of them are now ministers. All of a sudden you are ministers, so you have sense past more than I do. It doesn't work like that. What give me, it doesn't change anything. The position is only there. Tomorrow, David, you can be the president of the land. You will be accorded the same respect. She too will be made a minister, he will be accorded the same respect. It is the reason why any office you go, public office you go, you see those that have occupied it before. It is just to refresh your memory that tomorrow you will also not be here. Last year by this time, Mahmoud Bawumia had conceded defeat. He conceded on the 8th of December 2024. Some were praising him for that. He had no other business or option than to concede. If we have lost our election, must we pamper you? What would he have done?
He saved us the tension.
Which tension? He would have been forced out of the system if he had done anything otherwise.
2 million countries.
You have lost an election. Elections are counted at the polling station. All of us went to school. At least if we didn't even go to school, we have our calculator. We can add 1 to 2 to 3. We had only 276 constituencies. Results have been put together. It shows that you have lost. What can you do again, David? Tell me. Those are saying that we should praise him. Praise him for what? Before you sign on to contest the election, you knew very well that there are two outcomes. Either you win or you lose. Each one you must accept it. So last year by this time, he had conceded. Now, last year also by this time, Ghanaians have shown that they wanted an end to Galamsey. Is the reason they voted overwhelmingly for the National Democratic Congress. Last year by this time, Ghanaians have voted to oust corruption. They needed this country to put a stop to corruption. Look, people think we are, that's why I still believe that we need to do a lot of surgical operations with the SWAL administration. If we don't do it and do it properly, I'm telling you, politicians will take it for granted. This current administration, we are yet to get their financial auditor general's report on them. That's not the case. But if we allow the SWAL administration to go unpunished, then what moral authority will we have to punish those who are in government today? It is the reason why some of us are still concentrating on them. They have the booties in their pocket. They stole beyond. And look, it's not as if we don't know. I will live with these people. Ghana is the only country. I've told you time with that number that if you take out Ethiopia, the next concerned country is Ghana. Now everybody knows everyone's story. Yeah. David, you can go and live in a community you have never said good morning to your neighbor, but I can tell you, your neighbor can tell your story from head to toe. That is the country we live in. Somebody knows you. Other person knows other person. The person does not have your permission, but will be discussing your matters you have discussed with. So they came to steal. They came to loot. And the evidence abounds everywhere. How on earth would the Ghanaian not vote against you when they know very well that you are sunk? Even at that time, you were thinking that the amount of money that was sunk into the National Cathedral was only $58 million. Yeah. Only for a change of government to come and becomes $97 million. How on earth, David, tell me, you convince me. Now the former president who had kept quiet all these while President Kufuor had to admit that he did not understand how anybody so direct attack on the integrity of the Kufuor, that this was so stupid a decision. It's something that you're afraid to tell him. But you have to tell him whilst he's alive. So that anytime he gets opportunity in the next world to lead a country, he will not go and dig any hole. How on earth will convince you that? And I agree with PD that those pastors that were on the committee or whatever, the National Secretariat, Cathedral Secretariat, who convinced or who also encouraged the president to do such a useless project must be prosecuted.
They went back recently to beg for start of the project.
No, but I last time in the early days of this administration, I heard the Minister of Local Government, what's the name? Ibrahim say that look, President Mama, I have said that the only solution you have for this cathedral is to go and put up a billboard and write how not to govern the country. Leave it there. Let that land be there so that it will remind them, yes, anytime they see it, Kufuor and his family and these MPP people, anybody who was part of this decision will not be made to go closer to power. You understand? Such a despicable act is here, right in the middle of the city, the central business district. I have told you that I'm a valuer. If you are going to value the land alone over there, you are talking about 14 point something acres. That runs to almost $40 million. The land alone. Now we are not talking about the distractions that took place on the land. Judges were living there. You had other. You understand? The cost of demolition, the cost of relocation. If you were to add it, it will be more than the $97 million they are quoting. Because the $97 million is the physical amount that was committed into the hole. Now, what about the cost of relocation of the judges, the demolition, the clearing of the debris? the compensation. If you add, you'll be running into almost $200 million. And you have such a person, a human being that led this country to take this decision. What annoys me the most is that today, former President Kufuor continues to draw salaries from the state. So what it means is that in this country, we encourage people to come and mismanage us, and after that, we reward them for that. He has a security. He has a gardener. He has a press secretary. He goes about, and there is a siren ahead of him. For what work? If all you could come and do as a president to come and dig a hole, then I'm afraid it is the easier job on earth. His own finance minister, a year by this time, the Ghanaian was voting that Ken Ofori will be prosecuted without any fear. That was why there was so much anger. Let me tell you, election 2024, we were saved by grace. If James Benza and his co-workers have done anything on top, I'm telling you, by now, we will not be sitting here. It will be bloodbath all over the place. Because the Ghanaian was never going to accept anything. And mind you, when the people decide, is the reason why Article 1 is so clear, the sovereignty of this country resides in the people. When the people decide that, David, they don't want to, no amount of military might. The soldier in the bars will even forget that there's a gun to cock. Because this country belongs to the people. So we voted.
Even the soldiers,
absolutely.
They go to the market. The soldiers, they are part of us.
So we voted to take out corruption. We voted that that guy who is now in parliament, Kingsley Agyemang, who was doing anything anyhow, the scholarship secretariat, will be dealt with. We voted, and I understand next week. I mean, the promise that they gave to us concerned the All Africa Games, the 13th edition. The forensic audit that was commissioned by the president. They told us that by the second week of December, that report has to be ready. We voted that the $15 million that was used to cook water and so on and so on by those so-called organizers of that criminally minded organization will be exposed and punished.
Bedeto's wife.
Bedeto's wife.
She cooked 15 million. That's a record.
That we use almost $4 million to print tax. That we claim we use $145 million to build that rubbish at Damango Olympic Stadium. Rubbish. That we use $34 to $36 million to complete the University of Ghana stadium. That we claim we use. Yeah. If as a country we are going to use it as a yardstick, then we will not achieve our developmental goals early enough. Because I'm not too sure President Mama will go and dig a hole. $97 million. That alone will make him better than the rate at which they were stealing. It's the reason why our dollar, the city was never stable. I just wanted to do the debt report from the World Bank. Go and read it. We are put in the same levels as Sri Lanka, as Haiti, as Somalia, and as Sudan. And that is why Ken Ofori has run away. And that is why this OSP must be very serious and must not, that we are not joking in this country. When we are looking for money, we are looking for people who have stolen from us. That you people are using legal jargon to protect people in this country. I've told you how election 2020, someone's husband, the Jamesa's husband, got land. There has to be a commission of inquiry.
I agree with you.
How that land ended up with him when the land belongs to the Ghana Tourism Authority. What work had he done for the state? How much did he buy it? These are issues, matters that when you go into it and investigate properly, it gives confidence to society. We have been in a country where former Chief Justice bought a land for 7 times. So far, Kufu. Go and see a lot of judges. Courtesy my brother, he furnished me data. They buy lands at cantonment 7 times, 6 times. So it's as though the people that you call opinion leaders, elderly statement, that they don't deserve your attention even a minute. Because it's like a cult, a club. They come and steal from the state, and you and I continue to wallow in abject poverty. When the wealth of the nation could be used to satisfy all of us. David, these are the issues Ghanaians stood on to vote. And the Ghanaian has never been wrong. If you take them for a ride, you might be. And that is why they are watching carefully this administration. They must not take the votes, the overwhelming victory they got for granted. They must keep reminding themselves, what did we tell the people? What were the issues based on which the people voted for us? What are we doing to meet those aspirations? And I'm telling you, corruption was number 1 on the list.
Sure.
Corruption. How can we have Auditor General's report every day? We are being looted. How can we have ECG? This matter, they think is dead. Cables. You remember the cables? Hey, Don Jinapor must not play with this. The cables matter.
Yeah.
When AfenyoMarkins himself went to Parliament and said that's normal thing, he was the butcher. What are we talking about? Are we that dumb? We must not. What about Ajimamenu, Koko Ajimamenu? The people were voting. Sputnik V. The airport. Remember the frontiers. They bought a criminal entity to come and take almost $90 million. How much did they give to the country? The Ghanaian was voting to expose that and to make sure that we recover back to the state. What about the COVID money that they claim that we used to cook? Fresh food, is there hot food? 54 million Ghana. Did you ever enjoy some? Did you get some? Only ghost ate that food. The Ghanaian was voting to expose that. We did year of rose 2017, 2018, 2019. Yet in our country, everywhere, all the roads leading out of Accra, not in good condition. So what did we use the money for? We were told that 52 billion cedis was transferred from a tax account at GCB to an unknown account. As we speak, we don't know the end of it.
And the Auditor General is still at post.
And the Auditor General, what are you doing at post?
House cleaning.
You see, David, so there are a lot of issues. But because we believe that if we are going to help this administration, this president, he has what it takes to do it. I will plead with all those that matter in this administration that they must look at the unborn generation and help this president. Because if you are the president, you cannot be everywhere. You can only assign responsibilities. My issue has always been whether those that are assigned the responsibilities, they also share the views of the president. It's important that we keep this administration on its toes. We always remind them what led them to that emphatic victory. Remember, we also took part in the elections. We went to the people of this country, showed our message. They said, no, this is not the time. Let's give the benefit of the doubt to John Mahama. Ever since he came, on the economic front, all the indicators, he has bettered it. And I said that this, he must not be happy because Nana Akufo-Addo's administration must be a sponge. We must forget about him, forget.
We wait to see.
Let me end it here and you carry on.